Everyone, literally everyone is looking at this chart right now. Nasdaq, which dumped 4.5% on Friday, and people are saying that it is going to be Black Monday today. It is going to be Black Monday. For the people who do not know, Black Monday is generally referred to a catastrophic global stock market crash that occurred on October 19th, 1987, where Dow Jones went down 22.6%. But guys, this is not happening. There is no Black Monday today. Trust me, futures are telling you that there is no Black Monday. Futures are actually up right now. Obviously, the markets can go down, but there is no point in saying that there will be a Black Monday. So I'm going to delete this from here. But why are people actually talking about this? So we have to go back to Friday on why did markets fall 4.5%, and then we will talk about what can happen in the future. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some trades as well. Guys, make sure that you're hitting that like button right now, and we'll get in the video now. So on Friday, the job numbers came out. 172,000 jobs were created in May. That is 4 times higher than anticipated. Trump said that the jobs report crushed expectations for the third straight month, prompting cheers to an agriculture roundtable in Winston. Now, guys, this is a good news for the market. But at the same time, because of this news, because of high job creation in May, the rate hike chances went towards the upside. If you actually see on Polymarket right now, a Fed rate hike in 2026 is sitting at 59%. And this was the reason why the market started to dump. This was the reason why Nasdaq started to go towards the downside. Nasdaq went down around 3.5% on this news. Even if you look at the Fed watch tool, you can see how December FOMC odds right now are sitting at 42% of a rate hike. In October as well, which was very low, right now it's sitting at 43% for a rate hike. So this is why the market was falling. But is that it? Why did the markets fall 5.5%? Was this the reason? The job numbers coming out? Not really. There was something else which happened, and it was the AI. Now, you must have seen this everywhere today, or maybe you haven't. South Korean index, which is KOSPI, went down 8.4% today and closed at the circuit breaker, the lower circuit breaker. It literally halted trading because it went down so much, which is 8.4%. Now, why did this happen? If you look across in the Asian markets, you've got South Korea, Taiwan, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore. Everything was going down, but South Korea and Taiwan were going down a lot. Why? Because these indices are AI heavy, semiconductors heavy. This was the reason why these indices were falling. Everyone has been talking about this AI capex curve, which is moving towards the upside, and how AI companies are very overvalued right now. So, but wait, did job numbers actually pushed AI down? No, job numbers pushed the whole stock market down. AI went down because of this news, which was Broadcom earnings. Broadcom came out with its earnings and lost 14%. Why? What happened? So Broadcom posted Q2 revenue of 22.9 billion, 22.19 billion, and EPS of 2.4, which is amazing, which was beating the earnings expectations. Now the issue was that CEO Hock Tan reiterated the more than 100 billion FY 2027 AI revenue target, but did not raise full year forecast. So he did say that we are doing good, but he did not raise the full year forecast, which was the reason of Broadcom falling. Broadcom fell 14%, which is why Nasdaq started to fall as well. All the AI stocks started to fall. You've got Marvell went down 16%, Micron went down 13%, AMD and Intel each went down 11%, Nvidia went down as well, and Nasdaq literally went down 5.5%. So this was the main reason. Yes, there was this job numbers thing, there was the Fed rate hike thing, but the main reason was the Broadcom earnings that came out, which led to AI going down, which also today led to South Korean index KOSPI going towards the downside. But still, there is nothing like a Black Monday right now. I'm looking at this chart, Nasdaq, and I'm like, should I be shorting this thing? I'm trying to wait for this, not trying, but I'm waiting for this head and shoulder formation, potential head and shoulder, wherein the right shoulder creation will be done over here. If it happens, if there is a breakdown, then I'm going to be shorting Nasdaq for 7.5% move, and that is also going to be a discount on a lot of AI stocks. So this is the market right now, guys. And okay, I'm going to talk about the war as well, but I hope you guys understand the story of what's happening in the market. Job numbers came out, markets went down. Amazing. Why? Because the rate hike expectation increased. But The main reason was the Broadcom earnings, 14% down. All the AI stocks going towards the downside. Nasdaq fell down. Today, that was the reason why Kospi fell down. Now we are looking at the futures. Futures right now green. Everything is okay. But then yesterday, apart from this job numbers, AI thingy, the war re-escalation happened out of nowhere. Like why? Why is it happening? Why is the war re-escalation is happening now? So Israel did what the US said it wasn't supposed to do. It attacked Lebanon. They attacked Beirut. In response, Iran attacked Israel. So Israel from nowhere attacked Lebanon. And this is absolutely scary. So what was the reason of Israel attacking Lebanon is very bad because they want to sabotage the peace deal. Now, US wants a peace deal. Iran wants a peace deal, right? US, Iran are fighting. They want a peace deal. But Israel, Israel does not want a peace deal, which is why they are trying to sabotage a peace deal here and they are attacking Lebanon. And they were successful on it. They were successful in it because Trump actually said that we are very close to a peace deal and then this happened. Now, the issue was that the magnitude of what happened now will take time to sink in. Why? Because this is the first time when Iran has attacked Israel after Israel struck another country's territory. So Israel attacked Lebanon, right? There was no Iran in it, but Iran attacked Israel and then Israel attacked Iran. So this is absolutely crazy. Iran knows what Israel is trying to do. And Israel knows, Netanyahu knows what he's trying to do. And Trump knows what all of them are trying to do. So Trump also said, President Trump says he's not happy about Israel's earlier strikes on Beirut, Lebanon, and that the attacks were not coordinated with the US as per Fox News. So Trump is not happy with Israel. And we know that Trump and Israel, the US and Israel, were a team or are a team in this war. And what's going to happen if they're not a team? So it's getting a little bit scary. Obviously, it's not hurting the price action that much because markets care about the AI trade right now. Okay, markets actually care about the AI trade, but it is quite scary on what's happening. This week is going to be very important because we've got three major events, only three. Don't focus on all of these. You've got CPI, PPI, and the SpaceX IPO on 12th, which is the Friday. You've got SpaceX IPO, which is massive. People are talking about how liquidity is going to go out of the stock market, out of the crypto market into this IPO frenzy with SpaceX, Anthropic, and all these things, right? Guys, now that you know what the story is in the market, very quickly, if you have any questions, put it down in the comment section. I'm going to explain it. I do a lot of research to bring these alpha packed videos so that you are on the right side of the market. I am on the right side of the market. We are trading with proper risk management. And I am also the only trader on YouTube or Twitter who's actually journaling every single trade that I take. So I'm proper accountable, transparent, and open with you guys. So, which is why you come here to watch the videos. We're not getting a lot of views, but that's fine. We will. Why? Because we are honest with our work, right? Currently, I'm only in one trade, which is Microsoft, not doing really well. But I'm looking for more. I'm looking for more. For example, Nvidia. I'm looking at the Nvidia chart and I'm like, oh, this can turn into a nice trade, right? What's happening here is Nvidia is coming down to this support and it's also forming this potential head and shoulder pattern, right? Not forming, might form. So I might long this level, but I'm creating these videos every single day. So if I long this, I'm going to talk about this in tomorrow's video. So don't worry about it. I think definitely Nvidia can come down to this level, tap the support, and this is a major support in terms of volume, guys. It was a support here, it was a resistance all this time, there was a deviation as well, but I am looking at this support at 195 and I'm like, oh, I'm going to leverage long this thing. So Nvidia is one, Palantir is the second one. It's coming back down to the bottom of this rectangle and I really like this level. I had a limit order here, but now I don't have it. I released it, but I think I'm going to take this trade. So watch list, create your watch list because everything is about AI. You need Nvidia, Palantir in your watch list for sure. I am in the Microsoft trade. It can definitely hit the stop loss today, but that's okay. It's part of the game. Why? Because we had a massive trade on Bitcoin. Even if we have a bad trade on Microsoft, I do not actually care about it. It's okay. Happens. Now, when it comes to BTC, I am seeing a relief rally. Relief rally from this level, which is 59K. Last week, I said that I'm buying spot. I bought some spot, 1/4 bucket, and I'm going to buy more when the price comes down. So right now, I'm just looking for a relief rally and shorting BTC, right? So for me, the level is around 65 to 66K. And why am I looking at this level is because of the liquidation heat map. So if I quickly open the liquidation heat map, you will see that if I go on 1 week, you will see how major level is over here at around 67 until 69k. So my first target is going to be this level, which is 66.5k, and once this is achieved, there will be some kind of consolidation and towards the downside. But if the market sustains, then 69k level can be held as well. So you have got two options. I'm not saying short, I'm not saying short here. What I'm saying is that first path is this, the second path is this. So one of these paths will be taken by BTC, and we will see which one it is. And according to that, I will be trading. So if it is a rejection from here and a close below this level, I'm going to short BTC. If there is a breakout retest, then I'm going to long BTC until this level just to short it again, because right now we are in a relief rally. Right now we are literally in a bear market, and we know that according to the 4-year halving cycle. There are things happening with Saylor as well. He's teasing a buy, he's teasing a sell. We don't know what's happening. I don't want to get into it. Why? Because right now we don't know what is actually happening in his head. Like, what is he thinking? Is he thinking of a buy? Is he thinking of a sell? Because yesterday he posted twice. First he said that I'm going to buy. Second was 32 question mark, which was super funny. So I'm not giving a lot of attention there, but once he tweets again, I'm going to be giving attention. So hyperliquid is very easy for me. This is the last chart I want to show you guys now. And after that, I'm going to show you the watch list that we made. So this is the main trend. And I believe that it's going to come back to the $50 level. And for that, I'm also looking at this head and shoulder pattern. Very easy, simple, right? But we need a deviation. We need a deviation. If it comes back, then I think it can definitely come back to $50 level. Why am I showing this chart is I just want to tell you guys, do not be looking to long hyperliquid just because there are a lot of people longing hyperliquid. Simply focus on the right levels. If you want to buy spot hyperliquid, wait for this $50 level and then only buy it. Do not get into hyperliquid before $50. Okay. Also, we'll see. Now, if there is a deviation, I'm going to be looking to short. Now we can see a potential head and shoulder pattern over here, right? You've got the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If there is a deviation here and the markets become weak, the US markets, then I'm going to be looking to short this thing until $50. Very easy trade. So guys, our watch list is pretty simple. You've got Nvidia, Palantir, Microsoft, which is the trade right now going bad, BTC, and then hyperliquid. 5 things, that is it. I want to include one more thing, and that is Venice. If the market is crazy good, then Venice is the trade. Venice is the AI inference trade, which has been showing a lot of relative strength. It's consolidating right now. Now, if the market shows strength, this is the best token to long, in my opinion. If BTC shows strength, long this thing, you will see how well this runs, right? I also have a beta play of Venice in my portfolio, which is Pod Dolphin, right now sitting around 13 million market cap. I bought at 10 to 12. So I'm pretty much break even there, but I'm going to hold that thing because I believe it's going to run towards the previous all-time highs, around 25 to 30 million market cap. Let's see. So guys, no financial advice, but this is the kind of format that I'm running with, which is quick 10-minute video, all the alpha. Any questions, put it in the comment section. I'm going to answer all of them. Do make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye bye.